What truly creates female desire? Most men think female desire is simple. Be more attractive, make more money, dress better, say the right things, take her on expensive dates. And while those things can make a difference, they rarely explain why one man becomes unforgettable, while another is quickly forgotten. Because female desire isn't built the way many men imagine. It doesn't suddenly appear because of one perfect moment, and it certainly can't be forced. In fact, some of the men who receive the most attention never chase it, while others do everything they can to impress, yet still struggle to create genuine attraction. Why? Because desire isn't only about what a man has. It's about what he consistently communicates, without saying a word. Today, we're going to explore what truly creates female desire. Not the myths, not the manipulation, not the internet tricks, but the psychological qualities that quietly separate men who are admired from those who are constantly seeking approval. Let's begin. Number 1. Desire grows when a man has a life of his own. Imagine meeting two different men. The first man makes you the center of his world almost immediately. Every free moment belongs to you. Every conversation revolves around you. Every decision depends on your approval. At first, it might feel flattering, but something strange begins happening. His entire identity starts depending on your attention. Now imagine the second man. He enjoys your company. He makes time for you. He treats you with respect. But his life doesn't stop because he met you. He still has goals, responsibilities, friendships, purpose. His happiness doesn't depend on constant reassurance. Which man feels more emotionally grounded? Which one feels more interesting? Desire often grows where there is independence, not emotional dependence, because purpose creates quiet confidence, and confidence is difficult to ignore. Number 2, emotional stability creates attraction. One of the most misunderstood ideas about attraction is believing women are looking for perfection. Most aren't. What many women appreciate is emotional stability. Think about moments of pressure. Plans change. Life becomes stressful. Disagreements happen. How does a man respond? Does he become angry, defensive, impulsive, or does he remain calm enough to think before reacting? Emotional stability creates something incredibly valuable. Predictability. Not boring predictability. Safe predictability. The kind that says, no matter what happens, I know who this person is. That consistency builds trust, and trust allows attraction to deepen. Number 3, desire fades when a man seeks constant validation. One of the quickest ways to weaken attraction is making another person responsible for your confidence. Imagine constantly asking, do you still like me? Are you sure we're okay? Why didn't you reply sooner? Those questions usually don't come from love. They come from fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of abandonment. Fear of not being enough. The problem isn't caring. Caring is healthy. The problem begins when reassurance becomes a daily requirement. Emotionally secure men enjoy affection, but they don't depend on it to feel valuable. And that difference changes everything. Number 4, mystery comes from having depth. Many people confuse mystery with playing games. Disappearing, ignoring messages, pretending not to care. That's not mystery. That's inconsistency. Real mystery is something completely different. It's realizing that a person has more layers than you've discovered. More experiences, more ambitions, more stories, more ideas, more purpose. The most interesting people don't spend their lives trying to appear mysterious. They simply continue growing. There's always something new to discover. And that quiet depth naturally creates curiosity. Not because it's manufactured, but because it's real. So far, we've seen that female desire isn't created by chasing approval or pretending to be someone you're not. It's built through purpose, emotional stability, quiet confidence, and a life that has meaning beyond the relationship. But the next qualities are even more powerful because they're the difference between creating temporary attraction and becoming the kind of man a woman genuinely admires long after the excitement of the beginning has faded. Number 5, desire grows when a man respects himself. One of the biggest misunderstandings about attraction is believing women are attracted to men who always agree with them, who never say no, who constantly sacrifice their own needs to keep the peace. At first, that may seem kind, but over time, it often communicates something very different. It says, "I'm afraid of losing you." Fear has a way of changing behavior. A man starts ignoring his own standards. He accepts disrespect. He apologizes when he hasn't done anything wrong. He tolerates situations that quietly destroy his peace, not because he believes they're healthy, but because he's afraid she'll leave. The irony is, the more he abandons himself to keep someone, the less attractive he often becomes. Self-respect is one of the foundations of desire, because a man who values himself doesn't need to convince other people to value him. His actions already communicate it, quietly, consistently. Number 6. A man who makes her feel understood. Many men believe attraction is created by talking more, trying harder, impressing more. But one of the most powerful emotional experiences is feeling understood. Imagine sharing something important, and instead of interrupting, someone listens. Instead of trying to fix everything, they try to understand. Instead of making the conversation about themselves, they become genuinely curious about your experience. That kind of presence is rare, and rarity creates value. Women often remember how a man made them feel, long after they've forgotten the exact words he said. Being understood creates emotional closeness, and emotional closeness often strengthens desire. Number 7. Desire needs uncertainty to grow. This doesn't mean playing games. It doesn't mean becoming unavailable on purpose. It means understanding that attraction cannot be rushed. Many men try to force certainty too quickly. They want immediate answers, immediate commitment, immediate labels, immediate reassurance. But genuine desire usually develops gradually. It grows through shared experiences, mutual curiosity, time, space, and emotional discovery. Think about your favorite movie. If someone told you every twist before you watched it, the excitement would disappear. Relationships work in a similar way. Healthy uncertainty keeps curiosity alive, not because people enjoy confusion, but because discovery creates emotional investment. The strongest connections aren't built overnight. They're built through moments that slowly reveal who someone truly is. Number 8. Purpose is quieter than performance. There is a huge difference between performing confidence and living with purpose. Performance constantly asks, "What do people think of me?" Purpose asks, "What kind of man am I becoming?" One depends on applause. The other depends on discipline. Women often notice this difference. A man chasing attention constantly needs to prove himself. He exaggerates, competes unnecessarily, looks for validation in every room he enters. A purposeful man doesn't feel that pressure. His direction gives him confidence, not because he's better than anyone else, but because his identity isn't built on comparison. Purpose gives a man something incredibly attractive: emotional stability. And emotional stability creates trust, a pattern many men never notice. Look closely at everything we've discussed: purpose, self-respect, emotional stability, listening, patience, growth. None of these qualities are designed to attract women. They're designed to build a better man. That's why they work. Many men spend years searching for tricks: perfect text messages, perfect pickup lines, perfect strategies. Meanwhile, the men who naturally create desire are usually focused somewhere else. They're focused on becoming someone they're proud of. And that's exactly what makes them attractive. By now, it should be becoming clear that female desire isn't something you convince another person to feel. It's a response to consistency, character, confidence, purpose, and emotional maturity. But there's one final truth that ties everything together. Because the strongest desire isn't built through excitement alone. It's built through admiration. And most men completely misunderstand the difference. The difference between attention and desire. Many men confuse attention with desire. They think if a woman replies quickly, laughs at their jokes, or enjoys spending time with them, It automatically means she's deeply attracted. But attention and desire are not the same thing. A person can enjoy your company without imagining a future with you. A person can find you entertaining without deeply admiring you. Real desire goes beyond excitement. It carries respect, curiosity, trust, and emotional safety. That's why some men receive plenty of attention, yet struggle to build meaningful relationships, while other men receive less attention, but create far deeper connections. The goal isn't to collect attention. The goal is to become someone worth remembering. Desire grows through admiration. Think back to the people you've admired most in your life. Maybe it was a teacher, a coach, a parent, a mentor. What made them memorable? It probably wasn't because they were perfect. It was because they possessed qualities that inspired you. Discipline, integrity, calmness, humility, purpose, reliability. Women experience something similar. Physical attraction may spark interest, but admiration keeps desire alive. A man who keeps his word. A man who remains calm during difficult moments. A man who treats everyone with respect. A man who continues growing without needing applause. Those qualities create something much stronger than temporary excitement. They create lasting admiration. And admiration is one of the strongest foundations of desire. What weakens desire without men realizing it? Many men don't lose attraction because they're bad people. They lose it because of small habits they never question. Constantly seeking reassurance, neglecting personal growth, breaking promises, allowing emotions to control every situation, complaining more than taking action, making the relationship their entire identity. Little by little, those habits change how they're perceived. Not overnight, but gradually. And that's why so many breakups feel confusing. The ending seems sudden. The process was anything but. Desire usually fades quietly, long before anyone says the relationship is over. The men who create lasting desire. The men who naturally create lasting desire aren't obsessed with being attractive. They're focused on becoming valuable. They build a life they're proud of. They stay physically and mentally healthy. They keep learning. They develop emotional intelligence. They communicate honestly. They protect their peace without becoming cold. They care deeply, but they don't lose themselves. Ironically, those men often attract more because attraction isn't their main goal. Growth is, and growth has a way of making people magnetic. The question every man should ask, instead of asking, "How do I make women desire me?" ask yourself something better. Would I admire the man I'm becoming? That question changes everything. Because when your life revolves around becoming better, you stop chasing validation. You stop pretending. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else. You become more authentic, more grounded, more confident. And those qualities are difficult to ignore. Final message. If there's one lesson to take from this video, it's this. Female desire isn't built through tricks. It isn't created by pretending to be someone you're not. And it isn't sustained by constant attention. It grows through admiration. Admiration for a man who respects himself, who keeps his word, who has purpose, who remains calm under pressure, who communicates with honesty, who continues growing long after the excitement of the beginning fades. The men who create the deepest attraction are rarely trying to impress everyone they meet. They're too busy building a meaningful life. And that's exactly what makes them attractive. Because in the end, the strongest desire isn't inspired by perfection. It's inspired by character. And character is built one decision, one habit, and one ordinary day at a time. Click the subscribe button, like, share, and follow for more.